So I'm guessing you clicked on this video to get an answer to the question, is Bitcoin bullish or is Bitcoin bearish? Is it pumpy or is it dumpy? And so that is the question we're going to be spending this video talking about. Over the last 48 hours, we've had a couple $1,000 pumpy and a couple $1,000 dumpy. And the question of are we bullish now or are we bearish? Are we about to initiate a big dump? Is something I think a lot of people are wondering at this moment. And you might also be asking yourself, why should I be listening to a guy that looks like he lives in his garage? That's a good question. Why are you? So I think, as I pointed out yesterday, we saw Bitcoin over the past week or two really have some nice gains. And we saw altcoins specifically also do pretty well. We saw altcoins actually make some nice gains. And a lot of people kind of went quiet in terms of being bearish, right? We kind of didn't hear from the bearish crowd. And I think mistakenly, a lot of people started to assume, hey, everyone's bullish. This can't be good, right? If everyone's bullish, that's usually not a good sign. And then yesterday, over the last 48 hours, we saw actually there are still plenty of bears, right? Plenty of bears left. We saw how many bearish people came out of the woodwork, came out of their closets and proclaimed 20K imminent, 10K imminent. So I think it's fair to say right now, we have a good amount of people that are bullish and a good amount of people that are bearish. And with the stock market not necessarily up today, also though with the DXY not necessarily up today, and with Bitcoin, at least as the time of recording this, not very high up, what can we expect? Guys, when Bitcoin is pumping, it is very easy to feel invincible. It's very easy to think, wow, we're never going to drop. We're never going to drop. And the same thing, I guess, could be said about when it's dumping is we'll never go up. We're never going to go up. Just feeling very scared, fearful. I've posed this question a few times, and it's something I keep asking myself as well. How would I feel if Bitcoin, 38,000 US dollars is there at those price levels, and then within one day, within one trading day, maybe two trading days, Bitcoin is no longer at $37,000 or $38,000. In fact, it's down at 30 or 31,000. Heck, maybe even 29,000 US dollars. How would that make me feel? Would I feel scared? Would I feel like, oh my goodness, maybe this pump was just one ginormous baby bull trap? Or would I think, wow, this is par for the course, right? Par for the golf course. But with that being said, it's important to remind ourselves where we're at and what is likely to come. Because I'll tell you one thing about price action for Bitcoin is that when we do spend a decent amount of time in one trading range, that is always the precursor to the biggest move. And it has to be in the context of, are we in a bearish trend or a bullish trend? We've seen a lot of sideways over the past year of 2023, and every time, ultimately, the price ended up going higher. But multiple times before it did that, It honestly, or it actually, honestly, but also actually had substantial crashes on even a very, very short time frame that were immediately then switcherooed and became the opposite. So for example, I don't have a chart in front of me, but look at the last time Bitcoin was at like 20K, 30K. Look at some of those big levels of 2023 before we started busting up. Before most of those big busts, we actually saw crashes. Pretty big, like substantial percent crashes. And right now, I looked at the chart a couple of minutes before I came out here. We're right now on a very key daily moving average. And if we've been holding it, I believe, for like a day or two, because we were below it for some time. And we're holding this moving average on the daily chart. If we fail to hold that moving average, my question too is, are you okay with the idea that maybe we get a couple $1,000 dump? Because I promise you, if we do, there's going to be some comments even on this video. Even though I'm talking about a dump, there's going to be comments basically saying, see, I told you, we're going to 20K. We're going to 10K. We're going to negative 10K. And your job as a moon boy, as a baby bull, and your job as a perma bear even, as a bear boy, is to understand that we're at the beginning stages of a bull market, most likely. And these dips, these dumps, are going to shake a lot of people out. Even though it shouldn't. Even though it shouldn't be doing that. So with that being said, I think it was important for me to post this candid video. With many of you, again, I'm sure wondering in the comments, am I living in a garage? What's going on? Why would I take Bitcoin advice from a guy who doesn't even have a toilet, right? Am I just literally living in a garage? What's going on? And so it's important to remember where we're at, how high we've gone up in the short term, even and especially in the beginning stages of a bull trend, especially in the beginning stages of a bull market. There's still a lot of fear left. And so some of these dips that we're going to be seeing are going to even try to be exacerbated a little bit, are going to be maybe even a little more dramatic than you might think they are. Right, myself and many people, well, I don't know how many people are saying it, but like if we pull back to 32,000 or 30,000, one thing I keep also saying is maybe we'll get wicks below 30,000. I promise you this, how many people that are bullish right now or bullish yesterday or bullish a couple days ago when we touched 37, 38,000, how many of you would start urinating, maybe that's not the right word, making a mess out of fear if we did go below 30,000? I promise you guys, it would be a lot. Even the people that are bull posting would probably be a little like, whoa, what's going on? Why are we going below 30K? And maybe it's over in a day and we're back at 33 or 34. Now keep in mind, Bitcoin is not even at those prices right now, but I'm talking about it, and I'm talking about it for a reason. We also have supposedly this window for a lot of these Bitcoin ETFs to be approved within just the next day or so. I believe it's Friday's like the deadline. There was that like 8-day window. And let's say we don't hear anything. Do you think that'll crash the market? We actually got some sort of delay yesterday that actually pumped the market. It seems like a delay is actually counterintuitively pumping the price of Bitcoin, because a lot of people are under the belief that it's a complete buy the rumor, sell the news event, that the longer the idea of a Bitcoin ETF getting approved exists, the better it is for the price. But then the second we actually get the Bitcoin ETF, that's when the dump is going to come, right? A lot of people believe that too. My personal opinion on that, because I've heard a lot of people give their opinions, and I also do want to share my opinion on that. I think that if there is a Bitcoin ETF approval, there will be a pump, but also in the same day, I think there will be a dump. I think it's going to be a very volatile day. I think ultimately longer term, it's going to absolutely boost Bitcoin, and over, months, over the month or two after the approvals, I think it absolutely is going to pump Bitcoin as we head into the halving. If we don't even get Bitcoin spot ETF approvals, I still believe we're going to have a bullish year regardless because of the Bitcoin halving and in the coming bull market. But I think the day of the Bitcoin spot ETF approval, or should I say when it comes, is not necessarily going to be a super bullish day. I think that could be a very volatile day. I think a lot of people might be selling that news. And so with that being said, the reason I'm saying this, I think that, you gotta be cautious here, but also optimistic. Cautiously optimistic, pretty much, I think is the best play for right now. And remember, pullbacks are your friends. Pullbacks are entry points in a bull market. And I'll say this one more time. Your patience will soon be rewarded. The juice, it's almost loose.